All right. Welcome back to the Starting Over podcast. We're talking about Wolverine and the X-Men. That's what's up, son. I am your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos. And if you started here, I hate to tell you, you started at the wrong spot. This is part 3. Please go back to part 1, and you will see why. Because I have Mega Lotus Man back on the show for a brief bit before he had to go out and judge. So we talked about a lot of cool stuff, covered a lot of things in general. So I'm coming back and just going a little bit more detailed, doing cleanup. In this section, we are talking specifically about the figures that come in the team packages, team with the team bases. So they're going to cost ridiculous amounts of money on eBay. So let's get started, okay? Really, before we get started, I'm going to give you all a little bit of a buyer's warning. If you go on eBay, which for the team bases I actually recommend that you do, just sort of save you a little bit of money, go ASAP as soon as the set's out, because within 2 weeks, what'll happen is all the guys that are looking and gals looking to unload their extra stuff, their extra team bases, what they have done is those people will give you the 3 figures in the cost. So you might pay $30 or $40, but you at least get the 3 figures that come with the base. And that is cheaper than what happens after all is said and done, in which, oh, the team base is $15. Wow, that's a deal. Does not come with additional figures. The additional figures are like $5 to $10 each. So, and depending on the power of the team base. Not even the power of those figures. It's literally depending on the power of the team base. So, really, if you see a team base that you really like, or team base figures that you really like, make sure you buy early. I am normally not a proponent of that, but just a person that watches the market trends, it's my responsibility to you as a disseminator of information to warn you. Okay? All right, with that being said, let's get into it. First off, we have Beast. In all honesty, he is not that big of an upgrade from what we've had in the past. Yes, he does have sidestep, which allows him to flip in combat around, but really it's not that good. His defensive power special gives him combat reflexes, super senses, and toughness, but that's about it. I mean, in the sense of usefulness, it's not, in my opinion, the greatest. Brains or brute force. Yeah, anyway. At the beginning of your turn, choose Close Combat Expert or Outwit. Beast can use the chosen power until your next turn. I think it can give you some offense, considering that you can use the sidestep into a Close Combat Expert attack. But other than that, I'm not too much of a fan. Moving on, Psylocke. Hidden thought, Scott? Psylocke can use mind control and stealth. She can use mind control as if her range value was 8. This is pretty good, considering she's 84 points. And she hits 2 targets with that mind control. Also, she's in stealth, and she can stealth mind control. Her stats stay pretty consistent. She has precision strike and shape change, and eventually gets outwit and empower. But really, once you get to outwit, you're sort of where you want to stay at. I gotta say, combine the hand ATA on her, you're doing pretty good. Next up, Rogue. I'll just borrow this, sugar. At the beginning of the game, choose a standard power another friendly character can use on its starting click. This game, Rogue can use that power, and when she does, she has the printed range value of that friendly character. So, yay, she finally gets range. She can only copy 1 power, but it's a standard power. At the same time, she can pick up a multitude of great things from X-Men. At the same time, she's 112 points. When it comes to the team dial, I think it's going to sort of suck that you will not be able to use her trait, because it happens at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, she's on the team dial, thus you cannot use her trait. But when it comes to it as an individual figure, I don't know. It can be interesting. I think that's something that the rules arbiters are going to have to rule on, because if not, she she becomes worthless. I hate to say, but because at the lower points, the only thing that she helps the team base do is do a melee attack for 1 more damage. So, not my favorite. I hate to say this. She's a figure that comes with a team base that's best off a team base. All right, Storm. Booyah! This is the money. This is the money Storm. Okay? You thought I was going to say something else. Bam! That didn't happen. Lightning Attunation. When Storm makes a ranged combat attack, her damage value is replaced with 9, minus the number of squares to the closest target, maximum 4. I'm assuming it means maximum 4 damage. Now, she has Sharpshooter, and this is a replacement value. Now, you might say to yourself, Dark Logos, does this mean that she is sort of crappy? And I would say to thee, nay. But what this does mean, good sirs and madams, is that she really wants to be up in people's face. The other thing is, she benefits from a hammer. But Dark Logos, team bases can't use relics and resource dials. That is true, but that doesn't stop a solo adventure character. Not only that, she benefits from enhancement. You can modify her damage up by 3 or perplex it or whatever you want, and she could do 7 damage for 107 points. And you might say, that's a big investment, but I'm like, hey, if I'm playing X-Men anyway, I might as well. Dual target and energy explosion is icing on the cake for her crazy abilities. Stealth up front is nice. I gotta say, this by far, if you're able to get an extra one, send one to me. But but if you're able to get an extra one, keep her. She is worth it off the team base. Now, with that being said, people, she will be scary if she comes off the team base on Psychic Blast. And that's the one thing that I can't see with these dials right here. If she comes off the team base with Psychic Blast and you just place her down, it's like, there's 3 squares between you and Storm. Psychic Blast for 4. Thank you. She is the cleaner for, I think it's what, X-Men Blue? I don't even know. She's the cleaner. Okay? She's the character that you pull off to just say, like, oh, the team base didn't kill ya, but Storm will. Alright, and if you could see my body motion right now, you would have a good laugh. Next up is Iceman, 91 points. He has Sidestep, which is sort of okay. It's okay. It's not the greatest. It's just okay. He has improved movement. He ignores hindering terrain, which is pretty cool. Glacial Wall. Iceman can use Barrier. When he does, make a close combat attack targeting each opposing character adjacent to a marker just placed. Each hit character is given an action token and is dealt 1 damage for each action token it now has. Now, what I'm about to say is going to shock and confuse you. I think that this is a game-changing piece that we will never play. This is a game-changing piece that we will never play. And you're like, wait, that's oxymoronic. Why would we never play it if it's game-changing? Because it requires us to think in very complex natures. If we look at it, this does the combination of DC 10th Anniversary Green Lantern's ability to punch through the barrier with Copsicle going all the way back to the first Justice League Special Power set. Okay, so if we look at that, we got Copsicle and the ability to punch through the squares. Okay, that is really strong. So you would think, hey guys, maybe, just maybe, we would actually use this. But no, it's not going to happen. Just from the pure fact that most people are not going to think about the layers that come with this. Look at it like this. This Iceman stealth busts when your team base really doesn't. This Iceman has tempo control because he has the potential to put tokens on when nothing else on your team does. And not only that, he can be popped off, move into position for free with sidestep, and then take his shot. he's strong. I just hate to say it that no one's really going to take advantage of him. Archangel, X-Men, 4 range. Makes me cry. 99 points makes me cry some more. Precision strike with charge still makes me cry. Running shot, psychic blast. 4 range makes me cry. You sort of get where we're going here. Team bonding. If Archangel carried a friendly character this turn, either he or that friendly character can use the X-Men team ability as a free action. Makes me cry. Because all I'm really doing is carrying characters around so that I can heal. Now, as a rally mechanic, I can see Archangel doing something, but he is a very expensive taxi. So I hate to say it, as a character, I have to pass, stick him on the team base. If he can pop off on that Psychic Blast with 11 attack and 2 damage, then good for him. If not, just move along. Alright. Captain Britain's not that interesting. Neither is really Megan. That Nightcrawler, I told people this. Nightcrawler operates in a wave. You get a good Nightcrawler, then a bad Nightcrawler, then a good Nightcrawler, then a bad Nightcrawler. Guess what part of the wave we're on? We're on that bad Nightcrawler, baby, and it shows. It shows so much. And then people are like, well, you don't want him broken like the last Nightcrawler. Yes, I don't want him broken, but I don't want him to suck either. And that's what we have here. He sort of sucks. And if you look at him, it's like, well, he has all that cool stuff. He can use the carry ability. He can carry 2 characters if they share a keyword with them. He can teleport. He can go and ignore walls and blocking terrain. And all this other cool stuff. He gets energy shield deflection and super senses. How is he not that great? Just look at him. Hypersonic speed, then sidestep, then hypersonic speed, then charge. He gets his blades with sidestep, which means that at most he can move his 2 squares to get his blades claws off. You can't hypersonic speed with blades. His damage values are 3 for 2 of his blades, and he doesn't have anything to ensure that his blades will do well. Overall, not that good. Now, Alright, if we're going to say he pops off the dial, it's a different story. If he pops off the dial, then he's sort of worth his points because you can do a nice exploit weakness. But other than that, I gotta say, not the Nightcrawler I'm looking for. I'll pass. Cannonball, not much really to see here. Pass. Wolfsbane, sort of nice to welcome you back to the party. You're still awesome. You don't do much more than what you did before. Magma. Poison and Quake is nice considering that you can sidestep into your Quake or Quake and then sidestep. It deals penetrating damage when you use Poison and Quake, which will make her very awesome. Absorb the Flame. Magma and adjacent friendly characters ignore 1 penetrating damage dealt to each of them. So that's nice against Psychic Blast, which really, to an extent, gives her Ghetto Invul. Gladiator. Welcome to the silliness. Okay. You get him at 200 points, and you get him at 150, and I'm betting the experience stops at the 150 point line. And I'm betting that the rookie starts at probably the Flurry and 10 attack, 17 defense, perplex. Why is this crazy, stupid, dumb? And how broken he is. In context of a figure, he's about balanced. He's really balanced. He doesn't do an insane amount of damage. He does okay damage reduction throughout the whole thing. He has points in his die where he goes from range to melee and really sticks on that melee gut. He has a moderate range that really fits for the meta that we're in. Why is he broke strong? Defend the Shi'ar Empire. Gladiator can use defend. If he's adjacent to a friendly character with a Shi'ar keyword, modify his defense value by +1. So he goes back up to that 18, but you're still saying like Dark Logos, why is he broken? On a team base, at a full dial Shi'ar Imperial Guard, they're doing all their silliness and they're like, summon the Gladiator, after they've done their flurry. And summon the Gladiator, and he pops out, a bolt of lightning hits your map, it leaves a burnt area. So you don't know what that square was. You just know that Gladiator was summoned, and Gladiator proceeds to clean everything out. He does a better cleaning job than Phoenix did, because he's just like, psychic blast for everyone, now die. And if you have any other characters out there next turn, they're that are on solo adventure, that are Shi'ar, he's like, leadership, taking stuff off of you. And if you play him at lower point values, I'm betting he's going to come off on a flurry click. So you're just going to like Shazam him right in front of some character after you've already used flurry from your asset dial. It's going to be like it's going to be like this. I got the song in my voice before I even started. Perplex myself and flurry you, thou art dead. Amen. The offense is crazy good. Crazy good, man. So, yeah. Without saying, like, I'm glad that he's in the box and that I don't have to go spend an insane amount of money to try to pick him up. Next up is Manta, which is another of, this is why I sort of started to hate team dials. Blinding Light Flash. It sounds like something from an anime. Blinding Light Flash! You know, something that they cry out before they do their attack. Which is, anyway. Once per game, give Manta a free action. Each opposing character within 8 squares in line of fire. Modify its attack value by -1 until your next turn. If the opposing character is 150 points or less, also give it an action token. Hey guys, yeah, do you hate that Ghost Rider? Yeah, do you hate the fact that he's always has that utility belt? Yeah, do you wish you could lower his attack down? Yeah, try Manta. And it's pretty much what it is. Is you pop Manta off, Manta just is like poof, flash. You have a -1 attack, and you're going to have an action token. All right, there, you're locked down. Now, Shi'ar Imperial Guard can proceed to whack you while you just sit there. The fact that Manta has Energy Explosion does absolutely nothing, even though it's just comic accurate. And Energy Shield Deflection does absolutely nothing for where you're going to be dropping him off at. So I really got to say, this is a character that you never play by itself. And if let me rephrase that. If you're able to get extras, and you're just going to be like, man, I'm going to mess with people with my Shi'ar Imperial Guard team, multiple Manta flashes, what's up? You know, -2 and 3 attacks. It's good for making sure that in that next turn that your opponent is crippled, from the sense of they can't attack you, and that you can lock down some characters. But other than that, once that little trick is done, it's like, oh man, I paid 42 points for this completely worthless 4-range craptastic piece. Wow. That's just bad. So anyway, good on the team dial, crap everywhere else. Okay, moving on to Hussar. The last one on our Imperial Guard for the Shi'ar. Shun or Scour. Give Hussar a free action and choose one until the next turn. Modify Hussar's attack value by +2. And she can use Incapacitate or modify Hussar's damage value by +2. Now, looking at her stats, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be increase your attack by +2. Now, with a 3 range, you're not shooting that many people. Just being honest. And wasting a hammer on her is not even, don't think about that. Just take that thought out your brain. Okay. So overall, I gotta say, this is one of those characters that stays on the dial. Like, so you could say, Manta, pop off, do what you do, come back next turn. You know, and Manta and Manta will never leave the dial again. Hussar will never leave the dial. White Queen. Again, it's like, why? Why'd you make her the way you did, WizKids? There's really, if this character didn't come with the team dial, there's no reason to play her. Step in the wrong direction. Give White Queen a power action. She may give any other characters within 6 squares a move action as a free action. Okay, that's sort of nice. With a lock value of 1, during which they automatically break away. Oh, why thank you. So I've given White Queen a power action so that I may auto break away one of my characters. Now, some of you might be saying, do you know how many times I wish I could do that? For exchange of a power action? Really? Now, I would also say this. Looking at her damage and attack values, you're really just better off doing this once she gets on clicks 2, 3, and 4. That's it. That's really it. Her stats are crap, but she's 66 points. And I don't see any reason why you would play her with Generation X, considering all the other White Queens that you have. I don't see why you would play her outside of the team base on a Hellfire Club team. And I for sure don't see why you would play her on a Hellions team. Makes no sense at all. Okay. Next up is Quicksilver. Okay. Yeah, Quicksilver. Quicksilver does no favors for himself, sadly. Prove myself the fastest. I don't think that's spelled right, but I mean not spelled right. I don't think it's worded right, but oh well. Quicksilver can use hypersonic speed. When he does, his speed value becomes the highest printed speed value on the map. Now this is nice if you can go back and get like what was it, Hyper Time Flash. But with these damage values, I'm sorry, it's sort of crap. And then you're going to say, oh, he has Close Combat Expert, which he can't use with hypersonic speed. Okay. Oh, he has Exploit Weakness, which he can't use with hypersonic speed. It's dumb. It's so dumb. It inflates his points so much. He has Precision Strike for 2 clicks. WizKids. Again, Clicks Police, come in and slap WizKids. Just give them like slap them into next week's slap. Just like hard, because that is so dumb. It's so dumb. And you might say, well, he might pop off the base with Precision Strike with a 9 attack and 2 damage. I'm betting. That's dumb. Dumb. Okay, moving on. Scarlet Witch, a Scarlet Witch that we won't have to pay $50 for. Having Avengers, Brotherhood of Mutants, and Mystical keyword. Hex Bolts. When Scarlet Witch, this is her trait, hits or knocks back an opposing character, roll a d6. Based on the result, modify the following combat values on the opposing character by -2 until your next turn. 1 through 2 speed, 3 through 4 attack, 5 through 6 defense. And I really am not feeling it. Just not feeling it. I can modify something on my opponent's dial. Maybe that will be useful. Maybe. Okay. I have to push to get my prop. But I have Range Combat Expert, so I'm a real attacker. But I have 5 range. WizKids, get slapped. Please. Please get slapped, because this is dumb. Lockheed. What the heck? Lockheed is part of Excalibur. Why the heck is he all the way down here? Distraction. When you build your force, Lockheed may be attached to Excalibur team base as a team member, but can't be selected for solo adventure. Oh, that's nice. So he actually adds to your value for your role. When attached, the team character can use energy explosion as if it had 1 lightning bolt. Well, that's pretty nice. So he automatically gives the team base energy explosion. That's an added benefit. I actually think that's a pretty good add. Claps to you, WizKids. -1 slap for you. My human. When an adjacent friendly character named Kitty Pryde or Shadowcat is chosen as a target of an attack, roll a d6 on a result of 5 through 6. Modify her defense values by +2 until your next turn. So anyway, not bad. All right, let's get to the team dials and I know you're gonna say like, oh man, 3 hours. We're almost 3 hours. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to keep this as tight as I can and giving you all the goodness. Okay, X-Men Blue Strike Force. 2 targets, 9 range, 565, 265, 165. If old Edward had to choose, I hate to say it, we got to go with 565 9 times out of 10, and then the 165. The 265, which would turn out to a 300-point team, unfortunately does not have the ability to really stand up to a lot of the other options that are out there in the meta right now, in my opinion, as just a straight-up force, okay? Now note, who's in your lineup? Beast, Psylocke, Rogue, Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Jubilee. Now, I know I didn't read off Gambit because he's sort of okay. Cyclops is a really good attacker. Wolverine is really nice. But out of the rest of that, I'm sorry. Like, Rogue is okay. Psylocke on a team basis, I don't think she's going to work out, even though she has some cool stuff. But it's mainly, I think it's Beast and Rogue that are holding you back just a bit. When you look at the team-based stats, really, you look at that full 600-point dial with your whole team on there, and you just gotta say, wow, that's a crazy amount of damage that you're cranking out with a 12 attack and a 19 defense. But then you see that invincible, and you start to cry a little bit inside, and you start to realize that, yeah, my opponent can knock me past all that good invincible goodness, and take me into the land of crap. Gosh. Anyway, the whole more a family than a team. Give X-Men Blue Strike Force a power action this turn. Modify the attack value of friendly characters with the X-Men keyword by +1 when attacking a character without the X-Men keyword. Now here's the thing where it becomes interesting. You're giving a power action to buff your team, but at 565. With the lack of a better way of saying this, you're most likely not going to have any other team in most of your games. If you're playing it at 165, guess what, buddy? You can use this trait really efficiently. If you're going into a really crazy high point game, I don't think that you're going to be playing Blue Strike Force as your team base if you have access to multiple X-Men and all this other stuff. But I can be wrong. I've been wrong before. Okay? Boosting up your team gives you a lot of synergy with all the X-Men of futures past, okay? And being able to get that prob is nice. Now, here's the other problem. With that prob being on this team dial up front, it really means that you are going back to standard team-based prob instead of my team base has prob. And trust me, if you were running X-Men, you have no reason not to just spam heals to keep this character on top dial through all the number of X-Men that you can play that can heal, okay, plus the X-Men team ability. So if your Blue Strike Force gets off of top click, guess what? It's your fault for not packing enough X-Men. I really hate to say that. Like, if you play a high enough game, you should never lose prob. Ever, ever, ever on your Blue Strike Force. Now, the Executioner song thing is sort of interesting because it says give X-Men Blue Strike Force a free action, remove a character from the team base and remove it from the game unless your next attack roll with this team base is a critical miss. The result becomes 11 and can't be re-rolled. This is really a Hail Mary play. Yeah, it's a Hail Mary play because all you're saying is, I need this to be an auto hit, and if this fails, because you can always critical miss, I auto hit and I'm going to hit you for max crazy amount of damage. And and the only reason I would use this is I need to kill you. That's it. That's the only reason that I would do that, is just saying I need to kill you this turn with this action. Executioner song, bam. Okay. No petty cannonball. This is something with Wolverine, which again is dumb. It's not even worth looking at. So, I think that 565 is strong. That 265, not so much. The 165, there's hope there. Definitely if you're looking to play the X-Men in a little bit more of a supportish role. Blue Strike Force can do that, and they hit that nice sweet spot of, yeah, we can do a good amount of damage. Yes, we can be, benefit from a team. And yes, we do provide support to the team. When we look at the asset dial is where I get like a little bit concerned. Because the asset dial gives us, Beast gives us combat reflexes. Cyclops gives us sharpshooter and precision strike. Gambit gives a power action to remove an object from the map in a square they occupy or is adjacent. If you do, you may immediately be given a ranged combat action as a free action, but that's dumb because then you're pretty much exchanging your power action for another ranged combat action, which you could have already done. Oh well. Anyway, Jubilee, you can modify your defense by +1 against ranged attacks. Psylocke gives you mind control, but with those attack values, you're hardly ever going to use it. Rogue is going to give you Steel Energy, which is going to help you heal up. But look back at that dial. Where do you get your charge at? You get your charge on your 165 click. You can sort of say, oh, look, I can benefit from sidestep, but really you don't. Not too much. Wolverine gives you regeneration, which again is sort of nice, but you gotta get really lucky. You gotta roll that 4 and stay there. And then the one power, the X-Men have faced losses before. When another character that began the game on this team base is KO'd, not removed from your Executioner song, by an opponent's attack, you may roll a d6 that can't be rerolled on a 5 through 6. Take an extra turn after this one. How this is going to translate into, can I use another working together or what? That's going to be ridiculous, because if it says I lost a guy on this team base, I'm on 1, guess what? It would be your turn next, but it's not. It's my turn again. So I'm going to working together, blah, 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 blah. I am going to have my rest of my guys do this, that, and the other, and these guys are going to clear. It is your turn. That can be strong. But other than that, I think there needs to be some clarification on that. X-Men Gold Strike Force. Real brief rundown. If I would say I have to pick between the dials, I would say 270 is your best bet for being a really strong offensive just piece. 470, I hate to say it, I would rather have the Blue Strike Force, even though there's that crazy hypersonic speed. I would prefer to have something else because they're grounded. They can't fly, which sort of sucks. The rookie dial, I would never play that. Like, you have to knock me into that. There's no reason to play that unless you want to bring off characters at specific point value, at specific points on their dial, so that you can get different effects. Oh, real brief note on the Wolverine from the X-Men Blue and Strike Force. Once he pops off, you can bring in the rookie if you want to, and then just keep having him heal at the end of each turn, and eventually he'll get to full dial. Alright, going in, Executioner's Song, same thing. Psychic Transference once per game. When an opposing character would be KO'd by X-Men Blue by Gold Strike Force, instead, you may turn that character to their last non-KO click, heal it a 4 damage, and add it to your force. If you do, at the beginning of each of your turn, deal 1 unavoidable damage to that character. Didn't say that character can't be healed. Dun dun dun. This is a nice sort of like I hosed you mechanic. Now, I'm going to say this, and some of you are going to think that I'm a bit mean by saying this. Imagine a world where it's a 1,000-point game, and you have played Justice League with X-Men Gold Strike Force. The Justice League goes in for the killing blow against your opponent's Justice League. But you say, no. Let's roll a hard 6. You send in the X-Men Gold Strike Force. They KO your opponent's Justice League. And all of a sudden, you have 2 Justice Leagues. The thing that was never meant to be possible is now possible. Dum dum dum. And then you go heal them. Snap. Yep, that's pretty much it. I mean, where it's going to get crazy, really crazy, is when you get to Villains for Hire. Because once they get on their last click, they're insane. Yeah, so anyway, Psychic Transference for the win. It also is nice that it says Wind and TK. They get to ignore hindering terrain, unlike some other team bases that I know. Alright, so let's start looking at the breakdown. We start off with Colossus, and Colossus gives us improved movement, ignore and destroy blocking terrain. So we're rolling past that. First thing we're rolling past. Then we get Storm, and Storm gives us energy explosion and flight, which we need, so we're staying on that, and 2 targets. Okay, 3 targets. So we are for sure staying on Storm. That is our money asset ability. Archangel gives us sidestep, and we get to modify our speed value by +3, which is sort of dumb and it's not good. Bishop gives us steel energy, which is we could use it. Iceman gives us incapacitate and plasticity, and I'm sorry if I'm trying to lock down somebody next to my gold strike force, there's a problem. Now breakaway, I can say like, yeah, there's advantage. And I'm overlooking somebody. Jean Grey can draw a line of fire. You can draw a line of fire and count range in squares as if they occupy. What the heck? Of fire and count range in squares as if they occupied the square of characters that began the game on their base. So pretty much you get the little X-Men, a Professor X ability inside of Jean Grey. So that's sort of cool. Overall, I think it's all right. The worst odds, same power as before. Oh, actually, no, it's different. When X-Men Gold Strike rolls a crit miss after action resolve, heal them 1 damage and remove all action tokens from them and any one character that began the game on this team base. Actually, that's really good. So you don't technically take your crit miss damage, and you get to heal a guy off the base. So that's really nice. Really. Alright, next up is Excalibur team base. The Excalibur team base, I think, is one of those team bases that does not get me excited whatsoever. Anyway, Cross Time Caper, their movement of power. Excalibur can use phasing teleport. When another character uses probability control, the dice are re-rolled twice. Then you choose the result from among the 2 rolls, which is okay. You can hose your opponent, but if they get like a crit hit, if they roll a crit hit both times, you're just sort of out of luck. Widget, stop doing that. Once per turn, when you make an attack roll, if the result is lower than the click number of the target of the attack, modify that target's combat values by -1 until your next turn. So if they're on click 6 and you roll less than a 6, then they have -1 combat values. Now, okay. Here's where this is dumb. If you're able to get this off, but if you're fighting a team base and they start on like their rookie dial or whatever, that's still their click number. Also, the sort of silly thing when you look at it is their attack values when they have this power suck. It's 10 at the best click of it. So that's frustrating because that's something that could have put them over the top. It's something that could have actually made them a very strong team, but they don't. And coming at 320, 270, and 170, I'm not feeling them price ranges. Definitely not feeling them price ranges. Still crazy after all these years. Excalibur can use Perplex, but only to target themselves. When you do, choose a combat value. Roll a d6. On a result of 1, modify your values by -1. Instead, on a result of 4 through 6, modify the value by 2 instead. So you have a chance of shooting yourself in the foot with your perplex. That's not fun. So I don't like that. And I sort of wish they had Pete Wisdom, for those who remember him from Excalibur. He was also a member of X-Force and led X-Force at the end of their first run. Pete Wisdom ran X-Force, and it was the best X-Force ever. Best X-Force ever. I wish they could go back to those writers and that artist, and anyway. All right, now we're going to go and break down what our little special powers get from the asset dial. First, we get Phoenix, and we get Phoenix. Excalibur's powers and abilities can be countered, so that's nice. Modify Excalibur's damage values by +1. So really, there's no reason to get off of that. You get outwit protection. Captain Britain, if an action token would be given to Excalibur instead, no action tokens are given. When Excalibur takes damage after action resolve, roll a d6, turn the asset dial that many times to the left. Not feeling it. Megan, Excalibur can use shape change. I'd rather have Phoenix's power. Nightcrawler, Excalibur can use combat reflexes. I'd rather have Phoenix. Shadowcat, Excalibur can use super senses. Yeah, I can see the need for that. So out of all that stuff, the standard characters, there's only Shadowcat and Phoenix that's worth it. Then you get the sword is drawn. Excalibur can use Blaze Claw's Fangs with both close and range combat actions. Now looking at their damage values, guess what? There's only one time where using that little ability would be awesome, and that's your last 2 clicks. Other than that, you have 3 or more damage. So yeah, not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. Sad to say, Excalibur has to put the sword back into the stone. Call Merlin on this one. This is a failure. Going on, New Mutants. All that shenanigans that we talked about earlier with Mega Lotus Man, copy paste. I would say if you're going to run them at the full 200 points, then go ahead, think about the magic shenanigans. If you're going to run them at the 65 point or the 100 point level, think about the Sunfire shenanigans. 115, which would still give you 2 movement. I think it would still give you 2 actions. I think. I'm not quite sure on that. Because it would say like fraction thereof or whatever. Yeah, so you would still get 2 actions on your experience. I would say unless you have something that you're going to be doing with like Warlock or Cannonball, I don't even think it's worth investing in. I do think it is sort of cool that you can make some very nice like New Mutants theme teams with them, and put the Magneto from Marvel 10th, the one that's good, not the one that sucks, and a couple other characters with them, and have a really fun theme team at lower points at 300. That would actually be pretty nice. It would be pretty strong. They have improved movement, and they get to ignore hindering terrain, which a lot of team bases don't have. So, now I will say this: they do have something that I really do like. Embarrass the Hellions. When the New Mutants KO an opposing character with an attack, give each other opposing character an action token. If you play Battle Royales, people are going to hate you. Hate you so bad because you would just token up characters. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that. We don't even need to look at their team base or what their team base does. Just really, all you need to know is Magic is your friend, Warlock is your friend, and sometimes Sunspot is your friend. You'll never be able to get Stealth and Blaze Claw's Fangs off really well, so don't even stress yourself on that. Anyway, Shi'ar Imperial Guard, we unpacked that more than enough before, but I'll just go through the asset dial. Hussar, Opposing characters takes 3 or more. If an opposing character takes 3 or more damage from Shi'ar Imperial Guard's attack, give that character an action token, which is not worth giving up Gladiator. Manta. Characters with the flying or flying transport have boot. That's sort of nice, and that shuts down certain team bases. Oracle. Shi'ar Imperial Guard can use probability control a second time when it isn't your turn. That's nice. Oracle is actually worth it to try to roll for. So yeah. Smasher. Shi'ar Imperial Guard can use the standard attack powers of adjacent opposing characters. Now, when you look at Shi'ar Imperial Guard, out of all the powers that you would want to steal that they don't have already at that time, I can't think of any that'll really be nice for them to have that they wouldn't already have or try to have. I mean, you can say like energy explosion, maybe. Precision strike. I mean, blades, maybe blade. No, hell no, not blades. No. Oh, their damage is too high for blades. So it's really sort of a loss. Starbolt. Shi'ar Imperial Guard can use energy explosion as if they had 3 targets. Now that's awesome. Warstar, but you gotta understand they already have 2 targets. So adding 1 more target is okay. It's a nice investment. Warstar. At the beginning of your turn, Shi'ar Imperial Guard can use Solo Adventure as a free action and may then use a Team Reunited as a free action. That right there is one of your money shots. Oh, crap, I said that. Note to self, edit this moment. Crap. 45 minutes, track 3. That right there is your big winner power, because what you can say is I'm going to take Oracle off. I need a definite extra problem this turn. Bam, Oracle's off my dial. Do my attacks. Bam, 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 bam. All right, now I got that prob off. I need that second prob. Oracle comes back onto my base. That is what is awesome. Yeah. So you can just say, hey, I brought you off as a free action at the beginning of the turn, and my power action is to bring you back. So that is beautiful. Number 1, their 1 power, destroy. The Phoenix. Shi'ar Imperial Guard modifies their damage value by +1 when attacking a character with by +1 when attacking a character with a printed damage value of 4 or more. So this mainly helps you with other big bruiser or other team bases, but in my opinion, that's not your money. Like, your money is Gladiator. Your money is Oracle. Your money is Warstar. I mean, if you look at your combinations, you get Gladiator with the team symbol, like Hussar with 1, Warstar with 1. Let's see, Oracle with the team symbol, Smasher and Gladiator together, so you can get some Flurry, Blaze Claws, Fangs action off if you wanted to. Hussar and Starbolt, which is sort of okay. But I mean, they don't really have a whole bunch of overpowered combos. So I unless you don't feel like Flurry is going to help you, I would just stay on Gladiator. Like, it's just that good. Alright, moving on. Hellfire Club, Inner Circle. 280, 180, 80. I'm going to just be blunt about it. The 80 is the biggest, worthless, crappiest figure that you can spend your points on. points on. I really do think that. And here's the main reason: A, you will only get one attack. B, their stats are not that great. C, they will help if you have Hellfire Club guards, but that's it. They're really just mastermind fodder. D, you cannot bring freaking Black King off, or White King off, or the Selena Kyle Black Queen off. You are stuck with you are stuck with White Queen. Okay, so that's just frustrating. At 180 is a little bit better because at least you can bring off Black King. So that's sort of nice. Anyway, Queens. Hellfire Club Inner Circle can use Mind Control with 3 targets. And is not dealt unavoidable damage from it. If they hit a character with a team, with the working together, well, with pretty much team-based symbol, they may select a team member attached to the target. The next time the team base uses solo adventure, that team member must be the one removed from the team base. So you can sort of pick, if you know, like, hey, guess what? I know you guys are going to be popping off some spot or whoever else. I'm going to make you pop off Cannonball. Or if you're going to do solo adventure Justice League, guess what? I'm going to make you pop off Aquaman. Or I'm going to make you pop off Cyborg. Stuff like that. But it doesn't counter the fact that most team bases, by the time you get to Queens, which is on your rookie die. Well, hold up, wait. No, it's always usually on your second or third click into your die. By the time you get on Queens, your attack value is at highest is at 11 at 280 on your 280 dial. Then it's 10 on your experience dial and 9. No, you get 110 on your rookie dial. But you're not going to hit most team bases with that attack value, unfortunately. Triple target mind control overall, I think, is nice for the point value. If you said, hey, looking at this, I have 3 figures on my base. That's going to put me at 95 points. I have a 95 point triple target mind controller. Like, if you look at it like that, then it can be sort of nice, but outside of that, I really don't like it. Next up is Kings. Kings special power: reduce damage to Hellfire Club Inner Circle by 1 in addition to other reductions. If you find a way to give yourself impervious, it could be sort of cool, but outside of that, I'm not feeling it. Or invincible. Black, which you only get on your rookie dial. Okay. Hellfire Club Inner Circle takes damage, and this power is then revealed. Increase their combat values by the amount of damage taken until the end of your next turn. This can be nice because you can go like, oh, you knocked me way down, and now for 3 damage, and now I have plus 3 stats. That can be nice. You can get pulse waved out of that, and then be sort of hosed. But to have plus 3 stats is sort of nice if you can survive. The other thing that you're looking at is it gives you a minor rally moment. But really, in all honesty, you don't have any damage reduction past that. So it puts you in this strange world, I hate to say, where you have one chance to kill your opponent, and you better kill your opponent. White, which you only get on your vet and your experienced, which is dumb. But Hellfire Club Inner Circle can use leadership. When a friendly character of 30 points or more points is KO'd by opponent's attack, Hellfire Club Inner Circle can use Perplex, Outwit, and Probability Control during your next turn. So pretty much it's like, hey, I lost a Hellfire Club guard. Alright, cool. I got Outwit, Prob, and Perplex. It's sort of nice, but it's not dependable. And overall, I have to say that this is an utter fail of a team base. It's just off of itself. The only redeeming quality is the fact that you can pop off Selena Kyle. I mean, I keep calling her Selena Kyle, but a Black Queen, or you can pop off a Black King. But other than that, this is completely crappy. But let's look at the asset dial so I can sort of move on. Black King, adjacent opposing characters can't ignore pushing damage. Not bad. But you start with White Queen. Hellfire Club, Inner Circle, can't be the target of Mind Control, Psychic Blast, or opposing characters perplex, which is sort of nice, but it's really not. But you do get the one power, which is behind the scene. Hellfire Club Inner Circle can use Mastermind and Stealth. So if you play it right and you put in enough fodder at the 280 point level, they can be sort of nice because they can have enough fodder to just, have the rest of the team, shuffle off that damage. But, whatever. Going on. Black Queen. When Hellfire Club Inner Circle or any characters on solo adventure from them KO an opposing character, heal Hellfire Club and all characters on solo adventure from them of 2 damage. This somewhat helps with their sustainability, but it still sort of sucks because you only get that when you KO, and they don't get like Steel Energy or anything like that for other team bases do for sustainability. White King, if an action token would be given to Hellfire Club Inner Circle instead, no action token are given. When Hellfire Club Inner Circle takes damage after action resolve, roll a d6 and turn the asset dial that many times. So pretty much what you can say is this: hey man, you see that token I would have taken? Nope, I don't take that. Oh, you kept missing me? Yep, I'm going to attack. Oh, a token would be given. Alright, no token is given. Oh, you missed me? Yep, guess what? I'm going to attack. And that's sort of the cool thing. They can keep going and going and going until they take pushing damage. Until they take damage. So, here's the thing. That damage also means if you choose to push, take pushing damage, that's one. Mystics, that's another. Some other weird effect, that's another. Incap, that would give you a damage. That's yeah. So anything that would deal you damage, you would then have to spin. But overall, I would say White King is what makes that base come close to being competitive. Other than that, I don't know what to say. I know Black King can be nice if you're facing another team base, but you have to get really, really lucky to get him. And I don't know. He frustrates me. He frustrates me of how much he appears on the dial. I really wish he was the first one that you could pick, but you can't have everything you want. What was that song? You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need, unless you're the Hellfire Club Inner Circle. All right, Brotherhood of Mutants. This makes me sad. After all this time, we finally get them and they suck. Oh, Lackey/Master. When a team member other than Magneto on solo adventure is adjacent to the Brotherhood of Mutants, it can use willpower. Father-daughter. Brotherhood of Mutants can use penetrating Psychic Blast, Impulse Wave. Once per turn, you may force an opponent to re-roll a roll for Impervious, Shape Change, or Super Senses. That's sort of nice. Brother-sister. Brotherhood of Mutants can use Perplex. If they are given a move action this turn, they can use Perplex a second time. Alright, so Lackey Master sucks. Father-daughter's not that bad. You have everything at the start at your 230 dial and your 130 dial. Your 80 dial, you only get brother-sister, which is not that bad. And I would more so think along the lines of, hey, I'm trying to pull off a Magneto maybe on solo adventure. Having said that, a nice little 9,500 point hypersonic speeder that can also TK is all right. I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing, but it's all right. It's sort of appropriately point costed. Everything else sort of sucks. Not going to lie, everything else sort of sucks. So that's how I would sort of leave it. Magneto, looking at the asset dial, Magneto gives you invulnerability, which is nice for sustainability. Quicksilver gives you combat reflexes, which I'm not feeling. Scarlet Witch gives you super senses, which is okay. Toad gives you give the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants power action. Place them anywhere on the map so that they occupy at least one square within 6 squares of their current position. So you gave them a power action to move. I don't like that. Then it's Evil Mutants. If the opposing characters with the X-Men keyword or team ability is on the map, modify Brotherhood of Mutants combat values by +1. A very situational, very, very situational power, unless you have the Professor X and Magneto duo, or you're playing Sinister. So if you're playing those characters, then yay. Now, okay, I would also say this. This is one place where we can say the 80-point dial, as much as I hate to point this out, the 80-point dial is by far the best dial that you can put if you're playing another X-Men. And it doesn't even have to be the best X-Men. It just needs to be another X-Men. And here's why. You want Magneto on the base, you want Scarlet Witch on the base, and you want Quicksilver on the base. Toad doesn't really matter. So really you could pay 95 points. If you play another X-Men, you have a 95 point, 10 move, 11 attack, 18 defense, 4 damage, hypersonic speeder that can use Perplex on itself, and if they are given a move action this turn, they can use Perplex a second time, which, whatever, they may or may not do. So you have they don't have the reported range value, but I'm assuming, let's say you have a range value of 6, which wouldn't be surprising. Okay, that's the only thing we don't know right now. I am going to call it that they have a range value of 6. So with all your stat mods, you would get a 7 range, which would give you a 4 add on to your swing. So you'd be a 14 swing with an 11 attack. Perplex up your attack to a 12. Your damage would be 4. And bam, you have a nice little piece for you playing another X-Men. So, oh, never mind. I take that back. Says if an opposing character with X-Men. So just forget everything I just said. It's completely worthless. 80 points is probably the best you're going to get if you're trying to milk something out of it. Alright. I'm not going to go into Gravity Feed at all, because that's not anything we're talking about. They do have the OP kit up. You have Colossus and Kitty Pryde duo, X-Men team ability, Excalibur and X-Men keywords. We help each other. Improve movement, ignores hindering. Run. Colossus and Kitty Pryde can use charge. If they have exactly 1 action token, they can use it as a free action, which means that they can infinitely charge. Oh, I punch you, killed you, then I charge you. Defense power. Don't let go of my hand. That's sort of dumb for anyway. Colossus and Kitty Pryde can use super senses and toughness. Intangible confusion. Modify the attack values of adjacent opposing characters by -1. It's all this like, I take away your attack, I take away your attack. Sort of ridiculous. Anyway, I look at it as it's all right. It's all right. I figure it's going to be a duo. Well, it's a duo, but it's going to be on a peanut base. The intangible confusion can be used to give you ghetto combat reflexes. I never thought I would say that. The perpetual charge that you can get with run, I like that, because here's what you can do. You can charge, okay, Actually, sorry, you can duo attack and then charge, or phase up and then charge. So there's a lot of flexibility with that. So then Nightcrawler. Oh gosh, here it comes. Is this going to break the whole wave of Nightcrawlers? Okay. Improved movement. Ignores hidden terrain, elevated terrain, blocking, and characters. So ignores everything. Okay. Shark to the stomach. What? I think that should be shot to the stomach. Alright, whatever. Nightcrawler can use precision strike. If Nightcrawler hits an opposing character with a critical hit, choose a power that character can use. For the rest of the game, that character can't use that power. That is okay. Having the odds be that extreme, unless you have an ability that says, or a battlefield condition that says like all doubles or critical hits or something like that, the power is not that good. And at 99 points doing 2 damage, that's his end dial perplexes. So I would say, hey, Nightcrawler, guess what? 2 crappy Nightcrawlers in a row. Imcron crystals, for those who have ever watched the cartoon show, the first story arc, the major story arc in the X-Men after they got past the Sentinels, was them going into space and dealing with the Shi'ar and the Imcron crystal, and that made Lalandra's brother crazy. Alright, Imcron crystal silver relic 4 through 6, cost 8 points. When a character would be KO'd, instead this turn, turn its dial to its last non-KO click, then heal it of 2 damage, then remove this relic from the game. So pretty much it's like a built-in Lazarus pit that does some of the damage for you. So yeah. Alright. That is it. I'm happy to say. Gen Con is going on, and so in a couple of minutes or hours, wow, it's going to be the final game, and yeah. So, all right. Thank you for listening. Hit me up at StartOverPod on Twitter. Hit me up, subscribe. Also, the blog, startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. The email me, startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it pithy, keep it long, keep it interesting. Tell me about your Wolverine and X-Men experiences, my friends. Tell me. All right, and also, if you want me to cover the, I think I already did cover the Gravity Feed. So the Gravity Feed is covered somewhere in the archive, so go find it. Also, the birthday video hasn't hit 200 posts yet, so there's still a curse up for grabs. It's 200 views. I will send it anywhere in the United States. I will pay using my own money. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for going through 3.5 hours or so of GSX and other stuff. I'm your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and remember, we all have to start over sometime.
I'm into comic books, figures on the wall. She's into looking good, Vicky C's got a law, and she loves my flaws. Yeah, she's not ashamed. I'm a Peter Parker, she's my Mary Jane. 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 I'm a Peter Parker. She's my Mary Jane. I'm a big nerd around her, but she's cool around me. Never knew how she found me. Electric, but she grounds me. And she loves my flaws, she accepts them all. When the darkness comes, I will get the call. I will swing down to save her.